That should not be doing that. Are you in the room, Ryan? Is there anything?
I think I'm in now.
Right, I can hear you now.
Right, good stuff. Right, I got a bit confused. I've never used this before, so yeah, please bear.
Yeah, me and Price had the same problems the other day. We were meant to go live 5 minutes after the game, and it took us about 30 because my audio wasn't working. So.
Oh, this isn't the only one then. Yeah. Right, we'll give it a few moments and then we'll get going. So yeah, yeah, hopefully this goes well, but yeah.
Just look at this. Have you muted your mic?
No, I'm just not.
Oh, no. No, I can hear you. It just went quiet. I just got worried, yeah.
No, I'm just catching up on my notes and everything, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start now because, like I say, it's 2 minutes, so let's get going.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, here we are. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first episode of the Proud Terriers Weekly Review. I think one thing I do want to note is that actually I kind of regret not starting these a bit earlier because as a group we like to connect with our fans, and obviously with the lockdown situation it's been very difficult. So obviously we kind of wish that we started these a bit earlier, but better late than never, and obviously it'll help people come out of this lockdown, hopefully. So I suppose there's a bit of positivity there at the end for that. Yeah, I'm a bit right. So yeah, basically, we started doing our match reviews on Instagram after each match. I'd only planned just to do the odd one here and now, but actually, I actually quite enjoyed it, so I decided to do them every game on the Instagram Live. But then I kind of felt like YouTube was a bigger platform to maybe, you know, show that we are visible as a group, and obviously it's just a bigger platform, I think, because obviously on Instagram, you know, people will only know about you if they follow you, so it's kind of yeah, it's just a bigger platform, so we decided to do that. Obviously, when by no means wanting to be YouTubers or anything like that, you know, we're not here for that. You know, we just want to provide that support for people and to just engage with the community more. As I say, obviously with the lockdown, it's a bit more bit difficult because obviously you can't meet up with anybody. So let's get going then. So obviously, I'm absolutely delighted that Brad's decided to come on as our special guest. You know, personally, you know, his transformation from when he started to where he is now is just unbelievable. And, you know, you can see the hard work he puts into his content and, you know, the amazing person he is, you know, he deserves every bit of success. So like I say, he's so close to 3K subscribers. So if you want to go and subscribe, that would mean so much to him.
And well, yeah.
Like I say, you deserve it, Brad. So welcome and thank you for joining.
It's great to be here. Like as I said, you have to give me 1 second because I just realised that what I'm filming on is not on charge and I don't want it to cut out. So let's have a look at where this has gone. Right. There we go. Right, let's just pretend I didn't even get up. Right. No, but yeah, no, it means a lot, like the kind words like that, and it has been a weird journey over the past couple of years, and especially through lockdown. I mean, in every aspect, it's been weird. It feels weird being sat down, especially and just watching the games through a screen. I just feel like I'm like a Liverpool or a Man United supporter at sometimes. Not watching the football, but how I'm watching it, just with this whole sort of sat down at home with some wine gums or whatever, like. But like it's just one of those. I'll just be, like I've said, the goals for me this year were 4K subs and 1 million views. I already got the 1 million views, and just to get to that 4K will be a thing. But obviously, I take it step by step and I go up as I can. So it's obviously 3K first, then 3.5, then 4K. But you know, I've had a year ago, I'd have been happy with hundreds. But I guess it's just normal to be ambitious and want that more for the channel and want that more on the platform. And I've connected loads of people together. One thing I do pride myself in is being a content creator that gets involved with other people. There's no point being one of these that just charges for custom messages and like, oh, come on. But I've made it clear many times, if anyone wants to talk to me about anything related to town or full stop, I'm always there on Instagram. So yeah, but yeah, massive thank you to Ryan for the kind words, and happy to be here.
Fantastic, thank you for that, and hopefully everyone's got an introduction about who you are and your journey. So yeah, so obviously we are here for the weekly review. But for anybody new to who we are as a Proud Terriers, obviously people may not know who we are. So I think it's important to set the scene. Obviously the first episode, and I just want to kind of share the journey that I've been on, and obviously just tell everybody about just about who we are really, and what kind of my journey from setting up. Obviously, we got to mention that I am the founder of the group, and I am very passionate about what I believe in, and I really, this group has just gone from strength to strength, and it's just been just a surreal journey. But it's just yeah, it kind of makes me lost for words really, and obviously, so yeah. My journey basically was like this, and I kind of had this vision, to really make a difference within the LGBTQ plus community. And as I found out, I kind of came to terms with who I was as a person, and when we were able to go into the stadium, I was experiencing things that maybe made me feel really uncomfortable, and maybe and I kind of put myself in, if I'm feeling like that, then other fans like me, you're actually feeling like that as well. And I really wanted to create something special and to really make a difference at Huddersfield. And obviously the club that I've supported all my life, and I grew up here, and I'm just a big fan of Huddersfield Town. So yeah, I set up a Twitter account. I can't speak. A Twitter account, and we've basically just gone from strength to strength with that, really. So let me just tell you all about the like my aim. So the group, I really wanted to have a group where you can interact, form friendships, and be united by obviously the common cause of tackling homophobia within football, and making stadiums that safer place for a community like mine. Because I feel like prior to lockdown and being able to go into the stadium, it's really intimidating and really really difficult at times. And I know that there'll be people out there that just don't go to football because they're just not able to to go and feel safe. So we just want to keep making a difference, raising awareness and educate more people, and just provide that safe space, really. We've got plenty of support from the club. The club have been incredible. Other LGBT plus fan groups as well. They've been, I've made a lot of friends through that, and building connection with the Town Foundation and other aspects of that as well. Obviously, we've had so many achievements. The achievements don't really mean a lot to me, but actually it's just a bonus. But actually feeling like I'm making a difference is the most important thing for me. and you know, like I said, the support from everybody is just been incredible. If you do have any questions about obviously the group and you know and anything that you want to know about the group, I'm happy to answer questions at the end for sure. So yeah, hopefully that kind of sets the scene a bit. You know, obviously, you know, just final point before we go on to the review type things. Yeah, I just really want to create that culture of inclusion in football, and you know, really develop that more accepting atmosphere throughout the ground. And you know, I'm just trying to make a difference. So I know that a lot of people do say that I'm making a difference and being visible, and you know, and the journey that I've been on has been incredible, and you know, I'm very proud of how far we've come as a group for sure. So yeah, yeah, I hope I've explained that very well. But yeah, I don't want to go on too much, but that's who we are basically. Some of the comments are just making me laugh. So at the end of the day, I am a football fan, so let's talk about the football. So the past 2 games have been a bit up and down, really, a bit of a mixed bag, if you could say so. If we start with the Birmingham match at home, and you know, I always look to the starting lineup, and then I kind of make what's the word? An opinion about what I feel. You know, if I feel like it's right. So I think that the starting lineup was pretty much. I was quite happy with that actually. But you know, if you look to the bench, it's very much lacking. You know, in that aspect. So if I've made loads of notes here. So so I think first half, you know, it was very, very poor that first half. You know, not many chances at all, and it was a bit of a dull affair for that first half really. And obviously, I think the summaries after the game was obviously it felt like 2 points dropped, because if you remember, you know, I think a lot of people were saying that you know, it was a really must-win game. This because obviously Birmingham are below us, and you know it's really, you know, it was a really big game, and I felt like that opportunity that we had, we kind of missed that opportunity to get it. But anyway, let's talk about the goals. So obviously, I was really impressed with Fraser Campbell's goal. It was a real beauty into that bottom left-hand corner. Yeah, and you know, but I don't know about you, but within the last few, you know, within a few minutes, we managed to concede a goal that I feel that actually it was the poorest goal that we've conceded all season. And I know we've conceded some really poor goals, but I felt like that was just awful. But yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my summary for the Birmingham. What did you think, Brad, about the whole game?
I mean, you summed it up perfectly, I think there, Ryan. Birmingham below us, we're at home especially. 3 points, it's simple. I don't, you know, people sometimes, I mean, sometimes each their own, like, but sometimes some football fans sort of, they do confuse me in what's prioritised and like within the games. It's like, I've got, obviously this isn't directly linked to it, and I'll get to the point eventually, but one of my best friends is a Burnley fan, and Burnley constantly get given grief for, you know, the just 4-4-2 hoopball that they play, but they get points, and at the end of the day, I could happily sit in that ground and see us score 90th minute winners all season and get promoted than try and play this beautiful liquid Spanish football where we only get 3 games of it a season and then the rest just a struggle. All season, we've prided ourselves on scoring these magnificent goals that are built up with, you know, it's esque of like world-class Spanish football, and then we go and concede goals like that, and it's like, it's all for nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like, just do what matters. And I mean, it's like you've said a couple of times, and I think I actually had to sort of realise at one point, Carlos' style of football is an expensive style of football to play. And if we don't have that funds, then unfortunately, Carlos might not be the man for us. And that's nothing against his sort of coaching or anything, but there's football that's cheap and there's football that's expensive. And what we play at the minute is not cheap football. Cheap football would be Burnley football, just getting tall, just getting Djukovic and piling balls up top to him. And Birmingham have done that for a couple of years now, and that's worked a treat for them. I mean, they finished 10th the other season. I tipped them to go up. They had like the last 3 games or something, and they bottled it. But Birmingham could have been in the Prem from just playing like that alone, and they've spent nothing. So I think it does just come down to prioritising, the way that we score goals. I mean, it's even that more hurtful that, Campbell goes and scores an absolute beauty, as you say, and they're just going to tap it over, and we just sat here like, what are we doing here? Like, the lapses in concentration this season have been so unprofessional. At some points disgraceful, but I don't like to take it out on certain players too much, but there are some that are certainly more, well, more quick to blame than others, and I've said it many times, but yeah, that's just how I see Birmingham. Really, it's the first half was by far the worst half of football I've seen in a long time. It reminds me of Bolton away in the FA Cup, that first half. Honestly, I don't know if you were there for that game. It was just pass sideways, backwards. Hogg must have had the most touches along with Ursel, because all we did were back and forth, and probably one of the worst quids I've ever spent.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, but don't you kind of think that, I think obviously, in the last game that we had, don't you think? But before that, it was kind of, I know Carlos has his own style, and I appreciate that, but actually, you've got to have the players to play that kind of football. So therefore, if you don't, then you've got to kind of adapt until you kind of, hopefully Carlos will get backed in the summer, and he'll be able to bring a few good players in there, and maybe he will be able to revert back to his true style. But at the moment, I don't feel like we really don't have the players to play the style of football that Carlos is wanting and what he likes to do. But I know you mentioned Hogg there, so let's bring Hogg into the conversation. He's been a massive miss lately, and I feel like for all people that criticise him and say everything about, actually, I think it's unfair. And when you take him out of the team, you can see that big difference. And actually, yes, okay, he might not be the most amazing footballer that you'll ever see, but actually, what I respect about him is that he really works hard, and he gets stuck in. He's not afraid to get. And he's a real leader. You can see on the pitch he's so vocal, and we're completely missing that in a minute. Because for me, Lewis O'Brien as captain, he isn't a leader to me. He's not vocal. He doesn't G up his fellow players.
You know how I feel on that. Anyways, I don't even need to say a word.
Yeah, but I just feel like that. We're missing that leader on the pitch at the minute, and the sooner Hogg's back, the better, really. Right, so I think I don't want to spin too much on the Birmingham game, because I was just so frustrated after that game. So let's move swiftly on to to the Cardiff game, where I think beforehand, building up to the game, well, not much build up, but within a few days, obviously, we was kind of fearing the worst in this, going into this game, and the starting lineup again was really bad. And the thing that I picked out from the starting lineup with this game is that I was really happy to see Sanogo start, and I was also happy to see Rowe back in this, because I think Sanogo, okay, he's not played much football, but he didn't, when we saw him previously, he didn't really have that enough. He didn't really. He came on in previous game where he wasn't really being able to give that time to impact the game, really. So that's what I kind of noted down for that. And another thing that I noted down for that game was that I really liked the formation, because, I don't mind the formation we played in the past, but I do like the two up top, and I think going forward, Sanogo and Campbell, I think it will really get better as it goes on. But I feel like Campbell needs somebody up there to support him, and they really did play well together, I felt, on Friday, even though it was just the one game. And again, I want to go back to Aaron Rowe, and I just absolutely love that guy. You know, he's such a talent. You know, he excites me when he's on the ball because you know he's going to drive at the defenders, and you know he's going to be. It's that no fear attitude, and obviously his talent goes with that. But you know, he's just a joy to watch. What did you think about the starting lineup when you saw the team news?
I mean, straight away, like you say, the formation was interesting. I've seen us play that formation under different managers now, and I think like the way that we've sort of playing now, you know, even if we gave Carlos more backing, he'd be able to replicate some brilliant football with that. But just based off the lineup we had the other day, I do agree. I mean, Aaron Rowe. I mean, I don't like to look at, you know, play the way that we play and the way that I don't like to look at who's been here for the longest and just sort of say, oh, they're the best for that reason. But at the minute in time, I'd say Aaron Rowe is one of our best players in form at the minute, and I like to look at form because ultimately, the past means nothing in football. The only thing that matters is in the moment. And Rowe, he's just brilliant at the minute. He's got that drive. He's very reminiscent of Van La Parra. I'm seeing a lot of similarities in that. He's wanting to fight. He's wanting to graft. He's wanting to beat the man. And a lot of the time, he isn't getting the support and the backing from other players, and that's his only fault. And it's not even his really main fault. Really, it's other players, but. You know, I was happy to see Sano go in as well. Obviously, we'll probably talk about what went on in the game afterwards, but I was happy to see a start. I think the fans' reaction on social media and everything what kind of warranted that, because everyone was sort of saying, why sign a striker if we can't play him till the end? That sort of goes against everything. So I was happy to see him in. I think Bakuna had a good game. I think a lot of people are very, very quick to judge him. But ultimately, we wouldn't have stayed up last season without him, because he has that switch. And yes, when he's bad, we all know he's bad, because Twitter never lets him live it down. But when he is good, he is unplayable, and no one can stop him. And we saw that at Blackburn away last season. We saw that, you know, in these games here and there, and the audacity to do that strike against Charlton last season. No player tries that nowadays. But Bakuna did, and you know, him and Vallejo, I was happy to see him back in. The guy is ice cool at the minute. I want him on our penalty simply because, you know, there's a certain thing like positive energy, and you sort of think when a player's performing that good in any sort of way, you just can't see him putting a foot wrong. And in my mind, I can't see Vallejo missing the penalty simply because of how good he's performing at the minute. So I'm just thinking, I mean, who else is going to score them? Because we've missed 3. But yeah, I mean, defence obviously has to stay the same because we've not got any. But I was quite happy with the lineup and the formation, to be truthfully honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, like I said, I think you mentioned Vallejo, because I feel like Vallejo is one of those players that, you know, goes under the radar.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, he's not. I don't feel like he's got the credit he deserves, because you know what, that guy can play. That guy can play. He knows what he's doing, and he really has impressed me personally.
Yeah.
Just you trust him when he's on the ball. He's one of those players you can rely on. You can think, you know what, we're in safe hands.
You trust him to you trust him to look after your house for the week. You trust him that.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. But yeah, I'm loving Vallejo, and what a you know, we can talk about, you know, the bad signings we've made previously, but he's been a really, really impressive find, because
bargain.
Yeah, he's just fantastic, and you know, he'll only get better the longer he's in that side, and hopefully we'll be able to build a team that involves him, because you know he's just, yeah, I just love him. But I think what I noticed as well, obviously we didn't really see Sano go that much previously, and obviously when we've signed players in the past, obviously we've had to seem to wait a long time to be able to see them. But actually, I was happy that Carlos actually decided, you know what, let's start him, because you know, it really did work, because, you know, but it also proved that, you know, he may be a tall guy, but I actually feel like he's really good with the ball at his feet as well. He's not just a target man he's actually good with his feet. He's really confident as well with his feet. And you don't really see that much with, you know, maybe with really tall players like him.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, he kind of surprised me in that aspect. But I'm really happy that he is like that, because that's what we need. We need players that be able to play football as well as a target man. So yeah, that's definitely. And I think obviously I want to go to the defence now, and I want to talk about how we know that our defence has been really, really poor. But in this game, we was absolutely outstanding, and the defence was really solid. We really nullified Cardiff's threats. Kiefer Moore, I really like this guy. He's a really talented footballer, and Harry Wilson, and I like that Josh Murphy, and then obviously Ojo came on. But no matter who they brought on, we seemed to be able to cope. And it was really impressive the way, and Keo and Sa, the heart of that defense, they were just outstanding. And for me, for everyone, it's easy to criticize, but when players have had a good when players have had a good game, you've got to give them credit where it's due, for sure. What did you take from that performance in terms of seeing we've seen previously how our defence has just fallen apart at times, but with this performance, it shows that we can, that we can defend as a team and we can do it. So, was you kind of surprised with how we'd defended against a really strong side like Cardiff? What was your views on how we cope with the attack of Cardiff?
Well, I think the perfect way to sum it up, right, is, well, look at our record against Cardiff as a general rule. In the past 4 games we've played them, we've drawn 0-0, drawn 0-0. Then we lost 2-1 at their place last season, lost 3-0 at home, obviously. And then obviously back in the Championship season, when we got promoted, losing 3-0. This season, losing 3-0. And then I think getting that draw is massive for the record, as well as not just the season. Cardiff have always been a bogey side, especially under Warnock. So now they've got McCarthy, but they play very similar football. So, it's almost like Warnock's still there in the dugout, really. But, I mean, like you say, Kiefer Moore, what a signing he's been for them. I mean, I was saying throughout the whole, windows, Tony, Kiefer Moore, I don't care, just get anyone who scores goals. I don't care if they're 5'1", 6'9". I don't care if they've got one leg. If they score goals, they score goals at the end of the day, and that's all that matters, really. In this league, especially, it's just about that goal threat. And Kiefer Moore, you're right, he's got that in abundance. What did I think? I think on paper, we all want to see Town score, but I would have much rather have taken a 0-0 than a 1-1 out of this game, simply for the reason that once we score, we always, as we say, bottle it and run the risk of losing the game. I'd completely just rather take the point, because not to concede against a team like Cardiff, who are on absolute fire at the minute, is an achievement in its own. And although, we're going to look back at this game as 2 points lost always because of how we played, ultimately you can't not be impressed with, going from that defence being absolutely shocking and conceding however many week in, week out and bottling games left, right and centre, to defending against, like you mentioned, those players. Harry Wilson, again, another class player. Last time he was in the Championship, the guy ripped the league apart, literally. He's a top player, as he couldn't really find form in the Prem, but he's a top player in this league. And for us to be able to defend, against him, against Kiefer Moore, against, like you said, Murphy, it's good, it's better, but I don't want it to end here. We have to excel with this now. I don't want it to, we've got QPR next, and they're another team that are in brilliant form at the minute. It's typical Town to play like this now and then go down to Loftus Road and get absolutely plastered. And it's just come on, stay resolute. Keo, don't look like you're chasing the ice cream van. Stay on your feet. And Edmonds Green, just try and stay, confident and calm, and we can maybe get something then.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with us at the minute. The consistency levels, you just never know what you're going to get there. But I feel like that performance proved that we can do it. And I feel like, that let's go on to the fundamental of the match now. And actually that would have breathed confidence throughout the whole side, because the way we played, yeah, okay. It was kind of strange how I was feeling after the match, because obviously with what had gone on, with we had quite a few chances to actually score, and obviously most notably the penalty that we got. And I actually feel like if Sonogo wants to take it, he should have done. I'm not gonna criticize a lad for that, because he actually took responsibility and said, "Yeah, I want to take it," even though Carlos said that he was the first judge, which I kind of speaks volumes to me, that, because he's only just come in. So if nobody's actually stepped forward ahead of him and said, "I'll take it," prior to the game, I mean, and the penalty itself, I mean, I thought it looked like it was going to go in that bottom corner, but then it kind of just sailed wide, and I was absolutely gutted for Snowgo, because his performance warranted that goal, and I feel like we can all look at that and think, you know what, he should have scored it. Yes, we know he should have scored it, but actually look at the bigger picture. He took responsibility in taking it. Yes, he missed it, but if you look at the whole performance, the 78 minutes he was on that pitch, he just really impressed me, and his overall game. To say he's not played for so long as well, he looked pretty good to me, and I just felt sorry for the lad, really, because like I say, he did deserve that goal, and it would have been a great start to his Huddersfield Town career.
Yeah, I think I do agree. To a certain degree in most of those things, actually, really. Like you say, we played in a certain way, we played better, but ultimately, it's going to go down in history as being a bad debut, when it really wasn't. He was battling, he wanted to be there, clearly. I think when we take penalties, we try to be clever all the time. We'd never like to do things easy. I mean, you look at the Bakuna penalty, he's clearly trying to blast it in the bottom corner and show a bit of flair. The Campbell one, he's blasted it as well because he's at the bar. And then the Sonogo one, he's tried to rush it, I think, when looking at it. It's almost like it's almost like he feels untouchable, and he's, got caught up in the moment. I mean, maybe I'm old-fashioned, and which is a bit weird for a teenager, but I guess I am just like that sometimes when looking back on football. As a player in general, you should, but as a striker, you've got to hit the target from 12 yards out, and he knows that. No, he's not cost us the game, because if we'd, grafted a bit more going forward, we could have won the game. We had plenty of opportunities to sort of move forward. Our problem was always getting the final ball. I mean, me personally, I think we need an attacking midfielder with a bit more about him, because since Aaron Moy's gone, I've not seen anyone remotely close in terms of playmaking that's been able to dictate the play. Vallejo can do it from afar, but he can't do it in the final third. What we need is a Vallejo who's about 3 or 4 inches smaller, Spanish, very quick, and he's always looking for that one. Smith Rowe is what we need. We need Smith Rowe, but Spanish. We need, because he would absolutely do bits in this team at the minute. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, I love. It's a shame that we couldn't get Smith Rowe back, actually, because he was just a joy to watch. But don't you think, obviously with Aitin getting injured, don't you think Aitin was quite close to having that playmaker role in the side? Because I feel like he really was, pulling the strings, and he really was. It was just a shame that he got injured. Like I say, I look at this performance and think, if we would have had a bit of luck, we would have won that match. And at the moment, we don't seem to have much luck at all. Whereas if you look at other teams, they have their fair share of luck. We're not having any at the minute, so we're having to work for extra.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. Yeah.
He's very and like I say, the amount of players we've got, I'm not putting this as an excuse, but the amount of players that we've got out as well is really just.
No, it's a fair thing to say, because people are very, not fickle, not naive, wrong words to use, I think just a bit misunderstood on the effect that injuries can have within the squad. Fatigue is one of them. I read something on Twitter the other day. Campbell runs how many marathons every game he plays? The guy's 33 or 34. I mean, he's going to have a Zimmer frame by the time he's 40. because the kid just does not stop running, and that is the one thing I always pride Fraser in. Yes, he might not be the best finisher anymore. Yes, he might not be certainly up there in goals, but he will always graft for the shirt, and that's why I'm happy for him to start every game, because we've not got anyone else who can do that for us. But you're right, you're bang on. I mean, if we have Toffolo at left back, let's say it's a 3-5-2. Let's say Toffolo's in the left wing back slot, or let's just even for argument's sake say it's a 4-3-3. We can rotate between. We have Toffolo left back, Sarr or Keogh and Edmonds Green centre half, Pippa right back. Aiting in the middle with Hogg, then Vallejo, and then maybe Bakuna coming off the bench because he's been known to make more of an impact that way. Aaron Rowe out wide with Josh Karoma, either maybe in that striker position or actually out wide again, and then either Sinogo or Mbenza. We can mix and match with the attackers because they'll all play to the best of their abilities. They don't have to be in a specific role. If we have all our players fit, we win that game. Maybe more than one goal, maybe 2 goals. We get the penalty because I'm sure Mbenza would be confident to take it at the minute. If he can take a free kick from 20 yards, why not a penalty?
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that for sure. I think that we can look back at injuries, and we have to look back at actually, I think it showed how short this squad is, in terms of, okay, we've got a lot of injuries, but actually, when you bring those back in, you're actually looking at a really, really promising side. And obviously, with a few more additions in the summer, hopefully we get some more players in. That's never a guarantee nowadays. But anyway, I don't want to go to the topic. But if we get the players back, we're actually, I think we've got the foundation there to do well. We just need a few more additions. Obviously, we realise this. I want to speak about the goalkeeping situation now, and obviously this has been like a topic of conversation for quite a while now. But again, Schofield on Friday night was just brilliant for me, and he's coming for criticism, and I can't actually defend prior to this about I think Ryan Schofield knows himself that actually he knows that he should be doing better in certain aspects since he's come in, and but he's learning every week, he's building that experience, and he's a great shot stopper. You saw the save on Friday, and that was a fantastic save. I can't remember who struck the ball, but I just remember Schofield, really having a great save in that match. And he looked, that's the first clean sheet in 16 as well. So that it proves that if his defence are doing a job as well, Schofield is able to perform at his best and he's able to keep clean sheets if his defenders help him, And I know that sometimes we've conceded goals and you kind of look to the goalkeeper sometimes, but I think that's down to the defending recently. Before, prior to Friday, I feel like there wasn't much protection at all for Schofield, and I feel like he's been. I don't like to see people criticising the lad, because at the end of the day, you could say that the time now was right for him to come and make his name at Huddersfield, but he got thrown in the deep end, and all of a sudden, it wasn't a gradual process. He got thrown in the deep end, and he's the pressure that brings, and I'm sure that he doesn't mind pressure, because as footballers, you've got to thrive on that pressure. But I feel like Schofield is building something, and we should keep with him. I know that people have said that we shouldn't be playing him, but actually we should be playing him, because if he gets that consistency in the side, he keeps building on that momentum, and he keeps building on that confidence issue and the experience. You can't buy experience. I don't care what goalkeeper you are. You've got to start somewhere, and I believe that Ryan Schofield should be a part of that side, because I just think he's a great lad on and off the pitch, and he's one of our own. It's nice to see local players coming through, and people that actually support the football club, not just people that are coming in and are not really bothered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And Look, I think I've been quick sometimes to judge Schofield. I mean, the only reason why I've suggested he gets dropped in past times is simply for his benefit. I don't want him to play every game and make a mistake every game due to not a lack of professionalism, not a lack of effort, just bad luck. Like you say, we've not got a lot of that at the minute. And a lot of the time, if anyone's to have bad luck, it's going to be the goalkeeper. And I think if Schofield's to have that bad luck, maybe we do rotate with, Luke Weiler. But no, he did make a really good save, and I think it was against Middlesbrough a couple of months ago. I can't remember who it was, but that world-class save that he pulled off, 3 yards, who was it now? Blackburn is who it was. Adam Armstrong shot from about 3 yards, and he saved that. A lot of keepers aren't making that. It's great reactions. But I think there's a lesson to be learned here with goalkeepers, and I think a recent thing that we should talk about, and that has a massive impact in sort of educating yourself on what really does make a goalkeeper perform. Look at Liverpool. Alisson's been dubbed the best goalkeeper in the world, and I've never agreed with that statement because he's got Van Dijk in front of him. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could put Alex Pritchard in goal, and if you had Van Dijk in front of him, he'd get loads of clean sheets. You put a defender like that in front of a keeper, the keeper's not going to have to put up with a lot. And I think when you link those two together, look at what's happened to Liverpool now that Van Dijk's gone. Alisson is in horrific form at the minute, and yeah, you could look at that and say that he's just in bad form, but the same applies with us. When the defence plays good, Schofield will play good. And, the one at Watford, it's like maybe part of it's Vallejo's fault, maybe part of it's Schofield's fault, but you can't blame one if you're not going to blame the other. It's 50-50, where it's a team game. At the end of the day, if we concede 3 goals, you're not going to put the whole blame on Keogh. You put it on Keogh and Sarr and everyone in that back line. I think the main thing about our squad and for going forward for this window is we've got to invest now. We've got to invest. So many people have sort of put square pegs in round holes for the duration of the season now. If we want Schofield to stay with us and feel confident and feel happy playing for his boyhood club, then he deserves a strong defence in front of him. And the only way to do that is to look elsewhere. Because as good as Creedshaw and Edmonds Green are, they're not ready for a full season of Championship football.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to mention that about Edmonds Green. Obviously, I haven't really mentioned him this evening, but I feel like, you say that he's not ready, but, from what I've seen, yeah, you can see he's lacking that experience for sure. And obviously the jump up from academy level is just massive. It's not comparable. But how do you see Edmonds Green as a player that will eventually be able to stake his claim in this side, or do you feel like he's? I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I'm trying to say that do you see Edmonds Green as a long-term player that we can have in our squad and be confident with that?
100%. I think there's a way that sometimes people use strikers in the sense of big man, little man. One can flick it on and the other one can run in behind. What we try to replicate in the Prem sometimes. The same can apply for defenders. You can have one really tall defender and one that's a bit smaller, better as a ball playing centre half, and one that can use his pace. And I think I've very rarely seen Edmonds Green make that mistake. So in answer to the question, yes, I do think he is a very good long-term possibility. I mean, there's only one sort of situation where I've seen Edmonds Green make a huge mistake this season, and I wasn't convinced that it was solely his fault. It was against Reading when Zhao was in behind. From what I've seen on the replays, Zhao's pushed him. He's used too much force with his hands. If we did that if our player did that to them, it'd be a straight yellow card. It'd be a straight whatever. We'd be getting punished for it. But unfortunately, we don't get that luck with it in any sort of aspect. Not referees, not out. But yeah. I think, he's not really made mistakes. He's a long-term player. Build the team around him and players like Vallejo, like Aaron Rowe. Because, yes, we've got a great team at the minute, but players are going to come and go. The players that will stay are the ones that hide under the radar, and players like Vallejo, like Aaron Rowe. And if we hold on to them, there's no reason why with some investment we can be pushing for like a 7th or 8th, or maybe even the playoffs, because we've seen with good football this season, we could have got there. If our defence had a ball, I mean, look at the stat, Ryan. we seen this on Twitter the other day. We have lost 25 points from winning positions. We'd be third. That's criminal. In some aspects, it's disgraceful, but we put up with it because we love this club and we follow it home and away all the time. And although we question it sometimes, Edmonds Green is a player I want to see in blue and white for a long time, along with Schofield, along with Rowe, along with Vallejo.
Yeah, I suppose what I was trying to say with Edmonds Green is that, well, you kind of answered that, but you see potential in him, but you don't feel like he should be in the starting lineup just yet.
I think he can start some games.
Yeah.
But what I don't want for it to happen is him to start a game, make a mistake, get instantly dropped. I want to see him play that game, make that mistake, learn, go back to it next week. If he makes the same mistake again, then you bring him into the bench. You don't just take him out of the squad. If he makes more than one mistake at that level of football, you're going to have to coach him. Put him in an academy game. He's a pro player. You can move him about. You can move into the under-21s if you want.
Yeah, but if you don't see him as a player that should be starting, surely we should be looking at maybe loading him out to a club so he plays every single week to keep that progress going. Because ultimately, you can go to the academy, you can play games there, you can do training, but it's not the same. It's not the same. He has to be playing. At his age now, he's getting to an age now where he should be playing week in, week out. Now, if you're kind of saying that he shouldn't, he's not ready yet, then maybe we should be looking at loaning him out if we don't feel. The problem I've got here is that we haven't got enough players to be loaning players out. But in the long term, his progress will be there if we don't decide to play him week in, week out of town. Of course, he would need to go out on loan for me to see that progress keep going. I think the midfield has been put into, really had some criticism of late, and obviously again on Friday, I think on Friday everybody, and I'm saying everybody, was just outstanding, and I described it as a proper team performance, and a performance that actually is what we only expect to see players trying, being passionate, that fighting spirit, and that's all we can ask really. And I feel like that on Friday evening was for all to see, and that's why I wasn't as negative as some maybe were about the result. Because yes, I know that we need points, and I know the performances, and what I'm saying to is that the players that played did everything to try and get a win. There was no not in previous games maybe we've seen it's just gone missing basically. But for me, that's why I wasn't. I was gutted that we didn't win, because I feel like I think we deserved it, and with that luck we would have won. But I think a lot of people that have questioned Carlos should be really carefully as well, because I think that the guy has got potential. But the problem I have with him is that he's not had experience in the Championship in terms of a relegation battle, with in terms of being the main man at the club. So I feel like sometimes he's not one that should be escaping criticism because he's just not experienced enough. Because at times I felt like that his tactics were wrong. I think he made I can't remember now, but he made some changes at half time one match, and I thought to myself, why is he bringing I think he brought Holmes off, and I was thinking to myself, why is he bringing players off that was doing quite well in that first half? I can't remember what match it was, which is very useful, I know. But what I'm saying to it is, I feel like we should be sticking with Carlos, but ultimately, we need to have backing from the board, and this is another topic of conversation that maybe isn't suitable for this. But the board do need to start backing Carlos if they believe in him.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Yeah, what you just said there relates to what I was about to actually say about Edmonds Green, in the sense that it's not that I don't think Edmonds Green should be starting. It's that I'm just worried that we won't replace and we won't upgrade our defence. If we're not going to sign anyone in defence, which is a likely possibility, then Edmonds Green can start every week for me. But obviously, I want his long-term future to be more than that. If he's starting every week, maybe he could find more confidence and more thing, like you say, on loan. Because if we're getting battered every week, that's not going to do his morale any good. So it comes down to two things here, and there's two sides of the coin here, yeah. And it simply comes down to this. There's no other really alternative. We invest and see results, or we don't, and we have another season of this. It's going to happen. Phil said judges should judge me after 3 windows. I don't like to put the blame solely on Phil, because there's more people that run a club than just Phil. And Phil isn't the football man. It's not like Phil's had a career in football where he's played for a team, but he knows deep down that more needs to give. And he knows that. But obviously, with everything that's been on recently, we as fans understand that stuff won't be as easy. But him, Bromby, Devlin have to align themselves now. Devlin spoke as if we were going to do some sort of Spanish revolution. Now, I don't know if half of them have got lost in Alicante Airport, but I've only seen 2. And both of them have been brilliant signings. So where's the rest?
Yeah, you do make me laugh. I agree. I totally agree with it. And like I say, it comes down to the fact is that, but I think I kind of quite vocal about this a few weeks ago, that if you look at the club right now and you look at the fans, I've never seen a bigger divide within the club and the fans in ever. I don't think I've ever seen this before. And it's really, really sad. And unfortunately, the people at the top need to be uniting the fans, and they need to be bringing the fans together. Like we were before, when Dean Oil was it. I felt like that was such a nice feeling to have that. We was all as one, and the connection was between fans and players, and you could feel that in the stadium for sure. But obviously, we can't be in the stadium in a minute. But I'm just saying the disconnect between the club and the fans.
Oh yeah, it's never been worse. It's simply never been worse. But it's like I've said in previous streams. I could say it until my face goes as blue as the kit I'm wearing. But I mean, everyone needs to be aligned. Everyone needs to be on the same page here. Devlin made out, like I say, we were signing some Spanish players. But then Bromby goes and brings in his mates in Danny Ward and Holmes. And I'm sat here thinking, look, they both had decent spells in the past. But, well, they're not Spanish. And, I'm not saying that, you have to legally qualify to be Spanish to play football, because just look, the last World Cup was won by France, so clearly not. But in general, align yourselves. Don't say one thing and contradict it, because, I mean, fans like me, in the past 2 years, I've never been so negative about football. Like, genuinely, it got to a point where I would go to games, see us lose, and I'd just be like, whatever. But now I've started to be more positive, and it really hurts when we lose now, because when you try and be more positive and the team will keep kicking you down, it takes that toll, and not just on me. It will take it on you, on everyone, and we don't see this. I don't think any club has ever gone to the Premier League and made the least possible use of that 2-year stay ever. It's like we didn't. It's like we never went there. Like, the squad doesn't look anything remotely like anywhere near Prem standard. It barely looks Championship standard most weeks. Get aligned. If you want to have a Spanish revolution in the similar way that Wagner did it with Germans, do that. Back Carlos in the summer, and we can all be happy and sing Smile a While in all 4 stands and all have a good time and see some nice football. If you're not going to do that, let the fans know. And if it has to come to it, then take Carlos out the equation, wish him the best, and bring in someone who's going to do it on the cheap. Because we know everyone wants to do it on the cheap. Everyone at the club wants to pretend that it's not going to be done on the cheap. But the way the club's funds are at the minute, we're going to have to do it on the cheap. But back the Spanish Revolution, get the players in. We've seen 2 Spanish players, and look how great they've been so far. If we get, I'm not saying get 11. I'm not saying by the country. Just get some in and fit what you're saying.
Yeah, I totally agree that. I think that's a good point you made about that. And actually, so would you, in the summer then, I think what you're saying is that you would go abroad to get players in. You wouldn't look at players in our country then, if that's what I'm reading into that.
I wouldn't necessarily rule out. I mean, this has been going on for so long, Ryan. I get sick of it sometimes. One player out of contract, brilliant centre half, played for Middlesbrough, Daniel Ayala. Nothing wrong with him. Solid centre half. He's played Championship football with Middlesbrough for years and not put a foot wrong. He's Spanish, so obviously he could have, I mean, he's Spanish. If we're signing Spanish players, there's look for ones that are maybe closer to home first. Players that already understand English football. But did we get him? No. We thought we'd settle for Sarr on a free and Keogh for 600k. And it's the same every window. I hope that it's different this time, but mainly look abroad. If we're going to have not a lot of funds, mainly look abroad. Look at the coaches we've got. Majority of them are of Spanish descent. They'll have worked with players in the past, and we've heard links on Twitter and Instagram. Try and bring some players in, get them in, and get them playing Championship football, and we can slowly work back up the league. I'd like to say where we belong is a mid-table side. Then once we're mid-table, we can have the confidence to push further. Hopefully, within a couple of years, get back to the Prem.
Yeah, that's definitely a good vision to me. We'll just have to see how it goes for sure. It's interesting to look ahead now to the we're kind of writing off this season already, but it kind of feels like that with the season we've had. But I feel like next season we can really push on, but we need to be careful here because we're still not safe in this league.
Yeah,
we need to get safe first because, like we said earlier, at the moment, I'm not looking for performances. We need results. Yeah. So whatever it takes to get results, I'm not bothered about the performance now. So yes, okay, I know that I said the fundamentals of what you want to see on the pitch are different to what the performance is.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You want fight, you want passion. You don't care about how it's done. You want to see players fighting for this. But ultimately, results come from fighting, which is why you're spot on with that. Now, passing 90 times in a game doesn't get you a goal. I swear we've had third most possession in the league this season.
Yeah, it's what you do with it, though.
There's only one stat, unfortunately. There's only one stat in football that matters, and it's goals.
Yeah, and we haven't come up with enough goals, and we've conceded too many. As far as I'm concerned, the goals we've conceded, I think we're near Wickham in terms of goals conceded.
And we are second to bottom.
That is just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but for a club like ours, we should. But then you look at the other end, and you think to yourself, we haven't scored enough either. And when you're conceding every game, to score 2 goals a game is a challenge. So that's the problem. But I think we could go on. We could talk about South for absolutely hours, and we could go around and we could all and I just feel like ultimately I understand what you're saying, and I obviously I think the sooner we are able to be in the stadium, the better, because I don't think I'll ever take football for granted anymore in terms of going to games, because I've missed it so much this past year, and I just can't wait to be back. Because as fans we can make that big difference, and it's just not the same, like you say, like you said earlier about watching on the screen. It's just not football to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, how are we for time? Because I'm just going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. We've missed all the comments because we've been too engrossed in a town chat that was much needed. And I don't know how to get up on I'm very bad with this stream. Oh, I've got it now. So good evening, everybody that's joined. Hello, Alfie. Caden, hello. Just going to catch up on the comments. Apparently, I look younger without my beard. Oh, thank you very much. Both. Yeah. Right. I can't go down on this now. I'm so bad, so bad with this thing. But yeah, I've absolutely loved having you on, Brad, and I really do appreciate the support that you've shown for us as a group. And obviously, I'll always support what you do, because I just love your content that you're posting. I think it's just brilliant to have someone that you're just a great person.
Yeah, it is down to that. It's like that DM we shared last week. It's about sharing that awareness and promoting the best so that people feel safe at games and don't feel like they have to, not go simply because of who they are. And I think it is that education that's important for everyone in football now, in life in general. But
many a times I've been told, why can't I just go to games and watch a game? But actually, if you're not part of the community I'm from, then you can't really comment on how it feels in the stand, because ultimately you're not the one that's
yeah,
you're not really looking out. I'm not looking out for it, but you're not really noticing it. Whereas maybe I notice it more than, for example, you do. But it's not education, like you say, and I just want to keep, in the future, I want to do a workshop surrounding this at the club, and that's a big dream of mine to have. So, surrounding the whole homophobia issue, because actually it's a big issue in football, and it should be taken more seriously for me, because ultimately there's people that aren't going to games and aren't able to go because they just don't feel safe and they don't feel welcome either. And unfortunately, I've kind of, football's been a part of my life for so long, and like I'm not that old, I promise, but I sound like I was then. Football's been a part of me since I was younger, and I've kind of kept going to games because I've had that attitude as, maybe some people won't feel able to go, but I've had that attitude that don't feel like I should let other people, make me stay away just because of the way they are.
Yeah, because then they're winning, they're getting what they want, and they're getting that biting back.
Yeah, like I said, my role in the group is to make everybody feel welcome and to have a more positive experience when you go to football matches within our community. And like I say, I'm just I just want to keep making that difference. And various platforms that we've had recently have been amazing. Being part, being on BBC Radio Leeds and things like that, and the club support is just surreal. To have people in the club that support us. Our flag's visible at every home game, and you can see it quite visible every single game. That awareness, you can't. What's the word? You can't
top it.
You can't top that. To see a flag like that in a stadium, for someone that's maybe coming to terms with who they are as a person, and happen to support this field, that means a lot to somebody like that, because trust me, to see that visibility just makes a lot. I'm waffling on. I'm passionate about what I believe in. I'll keep going. I'll keep working hard. I'll keep doing what I can, and I do believe that football will get better. But there's still a long way to go, and I've just got to keep going with what I believe in, because no matter what people say to me, and no matter what negativity, the positivity outweighs the negativity. To be quite honest with you, it's just a minority that feel like they should be commenting stuff that that they feel like they want to do. But I kind of focus on the positivity, because, like I said, the support we've had from so many fans has been incredible. So yeah, I'll stop talking now, and I'll just say thank you so much for joining. Maybe see you again very soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
But thank you so much for your time, and take care, and we'll keep. Hopefully, you get 3K subs. Like I said, that's a big thing for you. I know that, and kind of just wrap it up there then.
Yeah, massive thanks to Ryan for allowing me to feature in today. Massive thanks to everyone who's tuned in. And like I keep saying, it's massive that you keep supporting, obviously, Ryan and the message he's trying to get across with the Proud Terriers. There's been so many instances in everybody's life where they've not realised that what they're saying can harm other people of certain communities. And it's like we both said, it's about that education and making sure that, because there's so many stigmas attached to mental health now as well, and you don't realise the effect that your words can have. But yeah, massive thanks as always, Ryan. All the best with the Proud Terriers. You know how supportive I'll be of that. And take care, everyone. And I'll see you all soon. Cheers, Ryan.
Yeah, cheers, Dad. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is just amazing to have Brad on the stream. It really does mean a lot to have everybody, supporting what I do. So we're just going to wrap up. I didn't want to keep Brad too long because I did say an hour to Brad, so that's why I've kind of. But let me just have a look at the comments now. Any questions that you've got about the group or about Town as a whole, post them now, and I'll see what else you've been saying, because, like I say, I've missed quite a lot. We kind of got engrossed in the chat, so I hope that everybody found it interesting this evening. And yeah, I hope to do these every week now. And hopefully I'll become better at hosting these. So thank you for your support, Caden and Alfie, as always. Amazing. Our defense was like a brick wall. It was. I'm not used to this StreamYard. I really aren't. Right, there's a question in. Do you think Schindler will stay? It's actually, I'm disappointed I didn't see this question whilst Brad was on, but my head's saying that, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but my heart's saying that he will stay, but then my head's saying that it won't. I think it may be the last time we see him in a Town shirt, unfortunately. Like I said, the good football will come. Like I said, we need results at the minute. That's the reality. Typical Ryan catching up from the comment. Yeah, I'm always behind my comments. How do you become a member? Tom says. Tom, if you message the group, if you message the Proud Terriers group, you can just join like that. Really, it's not. It's pretty easy to get involved. And we'll be able to, whatever role you want, however small or however big you want it, we can accommodate that. So yeah, if you do want to join the group and be a part of this, I know we've got a lot of supporters like Brad, but if you're wanting to put some effort and time into this, you can become a member, and we are welcoming members. So if you do want to get involved, head over to our Twitter page at Proud Terriers. Give us a message, drop us a follow if you want. We're nearly at 1,700 followers, so I seem to be stuck on a certain number. So if you know anybody that may want to follow us and may want to get involved, please, just share. So yeah, Tom, if you just message the group, and I'll be able to sort that out. And we'll go from there with the discussions. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up now because it's been over an hour now, and we've spoken about lots of things. Now, I think going forward, I've got an idea of actually sharing my journey in a longer format so people can get to know the group a bit more. So that is something that I want to do. So keep an eye on our socials for that. Any announcements we'll make on there. But yeah, that's something that I want to do. Like go live and just talk about the group, because it's so important to. I don't really feel like I explained my journey that well tonight, and I didn't really go into too much detail because obviously. We had Brad on the show, and we was doing the weekly review. But I did want to set the scene a bit, so at least I've given you a bit of flavour about what we're about. But I'll do a more detailed one very soon. I'm not sure when, but I'll let you guys know. And yeah, I've got a presentation that I'm able to present as well. So yeah, it'll be great to have you on the next time we go live, which will be definitely next Monday. And we may have a little surprise back into the week, maybe go live again then. And as I say, share the journey. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody for joining. Thank you to Brad as always. If you don't follow Brad, you can go onto his socials at BradBarbz. And if you want to, and if you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, he's so close to that 3K subs. And like I say, he deserves it. And so yeah, go and do that. Follow us on social media if you don't already. If you've got any new listeners in, at Proud Terriers on all socials. Give us a follow, and we're always posting every single day. So you will be kept up to date with everything that's going on within the group. And yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, Thank you so much to everybody for joining. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you later. Take care, everybody, and stay safe. Bye-bye.